Hey, what's going on, everybody? Michael back at you guys with the real 1%. We're back with Steven. How you doing today, bro?
I am fantastic, brother. I'm happy to be here.
Hey, thanks for stopping by and giving the time, man. Looking forward to hearing from your story. So we're on a podcast about the successful game plan from military to civilian life. All right. So if you don't mind, for all the listeners out there, go ahead and give us a background on your early life before the military. You know, what made you join the military? What branch of service did you serve in? And then bring us to like when you started thinking about getting out of the service, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, people call BS on me, but from I knew I was going to join the military from like 6 years old. Like,
Okay.
for most kids, it's like GI Joes and like the dream of being a SEAL or whatever. But nah, for me, it was like I just wanted to be in the military, and I can't tell you why, but that from like 5, 6 years old, that was always the thing. And my childhood was pretty much the exact opposite of what most people say their childhood was like. My childhood was pretty much perfect. I had great parents. I had good friends. I had a great family, and they were all supportive up until the point I turned 18 and raised my right hand, and then all of a sudden it got real, and everyone started trying to talk me out of it. I ended up enlisting in oh man, I want to say May of 2001.
Okay.
And then I actually left for basic training in the Army August 17th, 2001. So
Okay.
about 3 weeks before September 11th happened. And I was still in reception. I was in reception for a while. And I was still in reception whenever the trade centers got hit. And man, that was crazy. That was crazy.
What'd that look like?
Oh man, like,
Uh,
well, you know how it is. Like, what branch were you in? Were you in the
I was
army?
in the army. Yeah.
Okay, so you know how like at reception, like you kind of have freedom. You can watch TV and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So so we were all just kind of chilling and we were watching a movie. And I don't even remember what movie we were watching, but we were just chilling watching a movie, and a drill sergeant came in, and we all stood up at ease, and he was like, shut the fuck up and turn the TV. I'm sorry, can I cuss? I'm sorry.
Nah, try not to, but you're good though. Go ahead. You good.
I'm
It's
sorry.
all good, dude.
I get into telling stories and I tell it exactly how I remember it.
That's how you gotta do it
Sometimes I
sometimes,
gotta
man. Not trying
filter
to
it out.
offend nobody here. It's all good.
Gotcha.
You're
So
good.
anyway, drill sergeant comes in, tells us to shut up, turn, and he goes to the TV and turns the news on, man. And he was like, we were just sitting there, like, what is this? Like, what's going on? And it took like he's just standing there, and then like three more drill sergeants came in. They're just standing there next to him watching this what's on TV, and like we weren't sure if it was a movie or what was going on. No one said anything. And then about 5 minutes into this, like we were all starting to figure out like, oh crap, like this is real, like
Yeah.
this is really going on. And pretty much after that we got put in the oh, what's it called, the common room, and we got told to sit down, shut up, and not move. And that's pretty much where we spent like the next 2 days. And after that, it was like they went into overdrive to get us into our gaining companies for basic training and to start our basic training immediately. And I'll never forget getting off the bus. 'Cause it's funny because in the movies, like it's like as soon as you get to wherever you're going, the drill sergeants are on the bus and yelling at you. And in my experience, that's not what happened at all. Uh, when we got to Benning, like a drill sergeant got on the bus and very quietly and calmly, like, "Hey guys, get off the bus, line up out here." Like, I mean, he was assertive, but he wasn't, screaming or anything at us. So anyway, when we get it to like our gaining company and the drill sergeants get on the bus, I'll never forget this dude. And I won't throw him under the bus, but and drop his name, but he was a big dude. And he gets like right in my face and starts bouncing his brown round off my forehead. That drill sergeant hat, bounces it off my forehead, sticks his knife hand right under my chin, and he says, "You are going to die." And
Like,
I was like, what? But I mean, in hindsight, I'm like, that was the most amazing gift he could have ever given me, because like from that point on, I was like, this is real. Like what
Yeah.
we're like, I could very well die because I'm about to go to war. So anyway, fast forward, get through basic training, start deploying to Iraq and Afghanistan and doing all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And 2013, man, I took 3 to the torso. I was getting out of a Humvee, and the fob we were on, the sergeant major had this thing where he wanted every soldier to have a sling on their rifle. It didn't matter what you
Yeah.
did.
We had our unit was like that too, man. Everyone had to have a sling, man. It was like that too.
So stupid. So, you know, we fought with it for a while, and then finally it's like, all right, we're tired of getting in trouble. Put slings on the weapons. So, you know, especially after, you know, you've been doing this for a minute and you're not used to wearing a sling, like obviously some stuff like it's going to get in your way for a while till you get used to it. So we're on our way into this village, and we got into a little bit of a tick, but nothing major. Nothing. We didn't even stop. You know, the machine gunners took care of it. But the 50 cal was on the Humvee I was in, and he ended up going through an ammo change, and I knocked the ammo over when I was unstrapping it to hand him up his new fresh can, and the ammo fell on my sling, and I didn't realize it. So you know how we're trained to get out of the Humvee rifle first, yada yada yada. So as I'm getting out of the Humvee, my rifle gets yanked back into the Humvee because my sling's caught on the ammo cans. And I lean in, I get it unstuck, I stand up, and as I'm standing up and turn, I see a guy come out of the shop that we were parked next to, and underneath his man dress, he has an AK-47, and he raises it. And as he raises it, he fires a burst spray and pray, and he hit me 3 times. He hit me in the stomach, chest, and shoulder. One in the shoulder ricocheted off of my Kevlar of the vest and just it broke my collarbone. The plate stopped the one that hit me in the chest, but it collapsed both my lungs. It broke like 9 ribs, stopped my heart. It messed me up pretty good, even though it didn't actually penetrate. And then the one that hit me in the stomach, you know how like the vest stops just
I was going to ask you about that. What
Yeah.
did you have an IOTV, a plate carrier, or did you have what'd you have on?
It was an IOTV,
Okay.
but yeah, it was still short because I got a pretty
Yeah.
long torso,
Yeah.
so it stopped just below my belly button, and that's where the bullet hit, was right below the plate, and then went through and through. So
Was that the worst one? Was
messed.
that probably the worst one?
No, that was
it
actually the best one.
Why?
It
Because it was
didn't hit.
clean.
It
A
didn't.
clean hit.
Yeah, clean. It
Damn.
didn't actually do much damage. It just burnt me a little bit. Obviously poked a hole in me, but
Right.
you know, that was actually pretty clean. The one that hit me in the chest is the one that did the most damage to my body.
With your
Even though the
lungs and
plate
everything like
stopped,
that.
yeah, broken ribs. So, you know, fast forward, and you know, I recovered pretty good, pretty quick. I was pretty gun shy for a long time.
You got to get medevaced on that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They called you out straight out. You're out
Yeah.
Iraq, Afghanistan.
That was in Iraq.
Iraq?
Yeah. So, I got medevaced. And I don't remember any of that.
Yeah.
I remember hitting the ground. I remember opening my eyes and seeing brass fall from the Humvee because the 50 cal gunner was just lighting the dude up.
Yeah.
And it was he was like 5 feet away, man, or 5 meters away. Like,
like you said, spray and pray. That's what they did, right? Just get out there and just shoot. They're gonna pray they're gonna hit something. But both of those big bullets, man, they get hit by that close away. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So
damn, I'm glad you're here, man. Glad you still.
So I got medevaced. I woke up at Walter Reed in DC, and it was a pretty long. Well, it was pretty quick actually. Given my injuries, but a couple months later, I was back in Iraq with my guys, and after that, what I didn't know was ultimately that was going to be the end of my career. It took some time, but it just the psychological damage, and the physical damage, it was just too much. Like to this day, because so much damage was done to my lungs, it messed up my lung capacity. Um, it gave me a hernia, because it went through all that junk. So, which isn't really that big of a deal, but that it really does affect how much I can lift and carry. Um, to this day, it still hurts if I try to lift too much. So, I mean, ultimately ended up being the final signature in my career. But yeah, so 16 years on almost to the day, July 11th. Yeah, July 11th, 2017. I got my DD 214. And, I thought getting shot was probably the hardest thing I'd ever done, recovering from that. But
Yeah.
man, it wasn't even close to what I was about to go through.
What did how did you know that you were done? What
The Army
was
told me.
the Army told you?
Yeah.
When you're at
They
Walter
med
Reed?
boarded me.
When
No, no. I got shot in 2013. I managed to drag my career out till 2017, so 5 years, or almost 5 years.
So when you started going through the med board process, did you end up starting to devise a plan on what you're going to do next?
Man, I thought I did.
Plan A, or did you have plan A, B, C? What'd you have? What'd you have lined up?
I had plan A,
Plan A.
because I was stupid arrogant. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get out of the Army. I'm gonna go do all these great things. And you know, initially I was gonna get out and I wanted to go be a cop and like get in a SWAT team or something like that. And that was right around when all that really, when the mindset towards police really started to change, and like police, like it was the start of where we are at today with the way people view police.
Yeah.
And I saw that right away. And I was like, so when I got med boarded, I was stationed in Europe
Okay.
when I got put out. So I hadn't been in the States for 3 years, I think. And so 2 years, 3 years, I don't remember. Anyway, I think it was 3 years. Anyway, I hadn't been in the States at all. So I had no idea any of this was going on. I don't watch the news and crap like that.
Right.
So like when I got to the States and all of a sudden everyone hates cops, I'm like, yo, what's going on? So that kind of like, no, I don't want to do this. Like I don't want anything to do with like this craziness.
Right.
I was like, all right, so I'll just, go get a job. Like I was a sergeant first class, like plenty of leadership experience. Like, I got logistics in the bag. I got all these skills I can use. So that's pretty much what I did. But what I wasn't prepared for, what I think the hardest thing for me was dealing with civilians.
Okay.
That's really like the career progression and stuff like that was fine. But dealing with people was what it killed me. That was
What
so
and
hard.
and what ways? What like give us some examples.
So I mean, in a military, man, like you're surrounded by alphas, right? Like you're surrounded by motivated people. Obviously, there are the unmotivated people and stuff like that, but those are few and far between. For the most part,
Right.
everybody's super competitive. Everybody's super driven. Um, and so you're just surrounded by these people. There is a defined chain of command that you do not question at all, like just all those things. And when I got into the civilian world, man, the very first week when someone's like, hey, it's 5 o'clock, I want to go home, I was like, what do you mean you want to go home? Like, we're not done. Like, we still got 2 hours worth of work to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care, I want to go home. Like, that work will be there tomorrow. And it's like, like that's not how it works.
Right. Or that's not what you've
in,
been used to the last 16, 17 years. Like, hold on a second.
right.
Like, this is not what I'm used to.
So that was just a major shock to my system. Where I came from, everybody wanted to be the person in charge. Like, you don't like taking orders. So how do you not take orders? You become the person that gives the orders.
Yeah.
And so everyone's driven to become the leader. And, in the civilian world, like very few people want that responsibility. That was a shock. And just the overall mentality of people. It was just wake up, go to work, go home, do it all over again. Like there was
Like
no
a robot, almost like more like
yeah,
like a robot type of thing.
right, absolutely. And I think that's funny because people are like, oh, I'm not from the military, I'm not a robot. And from my perspective, like, I'm not the robot, you are. Like, I'm
Yeah.
the one driven, I'm the one that's trying to succeed at everything I do. Like, you're the one that's happy just where you are and you're completely stagnant in your life. And I
Yeah.
know that's really unfair to say, and it's unfair to judge people on that. That was something I had to get over. But
No, that's fair.
that was a big struggle. And I think the biggest struggle I had, and I see this in so many vets, is we have the most gigantic chip on our shoulder. Like, it is huge. And it's that we think we're better than everyone else because we volunteered to do something. And I had it too. I'm not better than anybody. And that was my biggest struggle, is understanding that, you know, just because I went and did this hard thing, and I went to Iraq and I went to Afghanistan, I got shot, and all these things happened to me. Like, none of these people asked me to do that. I did it,
Right.
I did it under my own free will. And so that doesn't make me better than any of them. And I had to really do a lot of like self work and self reflection to come to that understanding and work that out of my system, because that was probably the hardest thing I was dealing with.
Okay.
And then of course, I was just depressed. I weighed 220 pounds when I got out of the Army, and in 10 months I weighed 300.
Wow.
Yeah, like apparently I stress eat. I didn't know I did that. But apparently I do. And so that's what was happening. I was just depressed and stressed and just eating my feelings. And obviously I stopped working out because I was depressed, and, all these things. And I just gained a ton of weight, which ultimately, like, what's that do? That just makes you even more depressed.
You're just going down and down in the hole, man. I've been there. The same thing like you, man. Same thing, dude. Yeah, I feel you on that, man. I can relate to you for sure, dude. So how'd you dig yourself out?
My wife. I met my wife, and
Okay.
she would hear me talk about how awesome I was.
Yeah.
And one day she just kind of asked me, and these aren't the exact words, but she just kind of asked me, like, dude, like, you have all this talk, but where's the walk? And she's like, just, you're not dead. Like, you're acting like you're dead or something. Like,
Yeah.
and it took several months, but over the course of those months, she just really opened up my eyes to, like, I did stop. Like, everything I hated about civilians, ultimately, that's what I became. And I just became the biggest dirtbag in the world. Like, I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about, taking care of my body, myself, my mental. I stopped working on myself mentally. I just went to work, came home, and got fat.
Yeah.
And if you're overweight, or, I'm not bagging on you, it's, you do you, boo. But, for me, that wasn't okay.
Yeah.
And so, and like I said, the more depressed I got, the worse I got. And finally one day she just kind of shook me and was like, you need to stop. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff that led into that, but that's the short story of the version. Is thank God for my wife, because she's ultimately the one that snapped me out of it and gave me my mojo back, so to speak.
Hey, good for her. Good for you too. How long you been on the high end of that then for now? Been some good time?
About a year and a half.
That's good, man. I feel like I'm still trying to get over that hump myself, because I know I stress eat, man. I even tell my friend, I'm like, dude, I don't know how I'm not 400 pounds, but you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm hard on myself, but I know what we were doing when you go to Iraq, Afghanistan, you're going to the gym nonstop or going on patrols.
Yeah.
You just sweat. If you're overweight and you go overseas, you promise you're not coming back overweight for the most part. Let's say
Yeah.
80, let's just do 80-20 like everything else in the world, the Pareto principle, because some people did go overseas and they didn't lose a pound, so.
Yeah, but those are the fobbits that
Oh
live in
yeah,
the air
yeah, yeah, yeah.
conditioning all the time.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But there you go. So I'll say for the most part, you're gonna drop quite a bit of pounds when you get over there. But you're right, man. And another thing is like all those high stress environments that doesn't really help your like all your level, just like your testosterone, all that stuff. I've been looking into and doing my own research, and it seems like the combat vets are like one of the most prevalent communities to have low levels of like testosterone because it's high stress at all times. So that also, so if you're eating crap, you got low levels of testosterone, you're not working out, you're stressed, all that stuff. It's like a domino effect for failure, man. I've lived it, so I'm not saying like just for I'm doing it too, man. I'm doing it, bro. I've done it, man. I'm still trying to pull myself out of the rut. It's like we don't have that 630 PT anymore, so it's like you're not going to just stay in shape just because you got to go to formation. Now you got to really take it upon yourself, and we're surrounded by garbage too, man. It's everywhere, dude. So, but no, that's good, man. I want to go back real quick to when you said you got out of the military from Germany, because I've talked to a couple people and they say that it's a lot better to get out stateside. So I just wanted to hear your take on that for anyone that maybe they might have a chance to get out. Like, because I actually was in Germany. I was in Vilsec, and I had 11 months left, and I got put on orders to go to Carson because they were trying to make it so people were getting out in the States or whatever the case may have been. But I only had 11 months, and I went to Carson. But I'm curious to hear your take on it, and just what'd you experience?
100%. If you haven't ETS'd yet, do everything you can to do it stateside. It absolutely, especially if you're getting med boarded. And if you're getting med boarded, you don't really have a choice in the matter.
Okay.
But yeah, stateside is the way to go, especially with my experience, because you're trying to talk to all these facilitators back stateside, right? Because they don't have everything you need in Germany. So, you're getting up you're having to stay up stupid late and talk to these people. So that super huge pain in the butt. And then of course the move is it's insane. Just your last was my last month. We didn't have anything. No furniture. We had that borrowed furniture.
All had to get picked out of household goods and stuff like that, right? Everything's gone.
So that makes it hard. And then the last couple of weeks, you're living in a hotel out of a suitcase, which sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, which you have to do anyway. It just when you're PCSing, it's not near as bad. But ETSing, yeah, it really sucks. If you can at all possibility, even if you have to extend for a year, I would do it. It is worth that extra year just to get an ETS stateside. I would. 100%.
Yeah, because it seems like there's so much, man. There's so many opportunities. Like they got internships or fellowships. So if you get a year at any base, you might be able to get on that 6 months out or 90 days out, or then you got terminal leave. So if you got 60, 70 days terminal leave, that's 2 months already. So you're already at 10 months. It will go by fast. So, you got to get your disability claim in order, which you probably got taken care of because you got the MEB board, right? So you probably got all that taken care of. But for people that don't have the med board, you got to take care of your disability claim. Yeah. Don't wait till you get out, have all that stuff in order. Have it all in order. So what was your take on it before you got med boarded? Like your whole, like the whole just a sick call. I'm sure I think I know the answer of it, man, but just, I feel like you just need to keep putting it out there, man, for these people to get over that stigma that used to be and when we were in the military, man. I joined in 06 to 15, but you're weak if you went, to say the least, when I was there, man. So,
bro, yeah, for real, man. Almost the entire time I was in, I think it was probably starting to get better towards when I got out, but ultimately, if you went to sick call, you were just a piece of crap,
Yeah.
right? You're just trying to sandbag. You needed to tough it out, yada yada yada. But with that being said, I had a first sergeant when I was an E5, a sergeant, and I had hurt my knee really bad. And he was like, "You need to go to sick call, dude." I was like, "First sergeant, I'm tough. Like, don't put that shade on me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good." He's like, "No, listen." He's like, "You're young now, but you're not going to be young for much longer, especially if you stay in the army. You're going to age really quick," which that's not a lie. And he's like, when it comes time for you to retire and get out and get your disability, which you deserve, then it's going to be so much easier if you keep all your injuries documented. He's like, if you have to go back and do history projects all the freaking time, it's going to suck and you're going to regret it. I promise you. I've seen it happen a million times. Of course, I didn't listen to First Sergeant because, he's only been in the Army for 22 years. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So, I didn't do it. And now, man, my disability, like, fortunately, like you said, I went through the MEB process, but it was still a pain in the butt. It was still an absolute pain in the butt. And then a buddy of mine, uh, he got med boarded also for a combat related injury. He was I'm trying to remember his story. I think he was real close. He didn't actually step on an IED, but he was real close to it, and it blew a rock and hit him in the knee from the side, and it tore his every single ligament in his knee. It tore it like crazy. He was on doing rehab for like 2.5 years. Man, it was
Wow.
crazy. Yeah. So that happened. He gets med boarded and his disability claim still got denied like 3 times from the VA. Like,
what was the reasoning? What they try to give for? That's crazy.
I don't remember the reasoning because I didn't know him while he was going through this process. I met him after I got out of the Army, but
Okay.
it was just his story that he shared with me, over a beer or two. But I mean, that happens. Like you hear stories of that stuff like that happening all the time. So you want to have everything documented you possibly can before you get out. Like, I'm not kidding. Even if you didn't get it documented right then, and like say you're 6 months, a year out of ETSing, then you need to go to sick call and be like, look, these things happened to me, and start getting that stuff documented now. It's going to save you so much time in the future. And my first sergeant wasn't kidding. Those history projects suck, and they are not a good time, man. Not a good time at all. So,
Nah.
knock that stuff out as soon as you can. And ultimately, man, like, you got to take care of yourself because
That's true.
you aren't going to be young forever. I remember when I could run 2 miles and not even be breathing hard at the end, the PT test was a joke. And now it's like, I run 2 miles and I'm dripping. But I mean, I'm 40 now, so it is what it is. But, take care of yourself, take care of your body, because you're not going to be this young soldier for much longer, especially if you stay in.
No, you're absolutely right, man. You got to do it now rather than do those projects, because when you get those projects to do, you're going to be like, you're just going to not want to do those, and you're going to put it off, and then you're just never going to get it done. Then you're going to get out, and then you're going to be hearing from your friends for the next 5 years about doing it. Then, you're going to be, man, I could have had this 5 years ago. And you're like, man, I could have, that's $250,000, man. If we did the math on it, like, if you get out the military, if you have the stuff, that's a lot of money you're leaving on the table, a lot of benefits. So don't wait, guys. Don't wait, girls.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I was going to say is, for me, at least, I can't speak to, I know everybody has their own belief, but for me, I swore I would never, ever use the VA. I would never accept disability. I would never, for me, that's not what I wanted, unless I was actually disabled. Obviously, I'm perfectly fine. I exercise, I run. I'm back down to 225, by the way.
There you go. Yeah.
But, it's like, I always swore that the VA would, distant memory for me. I never wanted anything to do with the VA. And then, now that I'm on this side, and I have unfortunately, like, the VA does suck, but it is what it is. It's a necessary evil, I guess. But like though everything you've earned, whether it's the GI Bill or whatever, that's money you've earned. If
Yeah.
you have a disability claim, then you've earned that. Like,
Right.
that is your money. And if you don't use it, you're an idiot. Because
Yeah.
if I put $1,000 on you, I'm like, here, Michael, here's $1,000 for you.
I'm good,
And
man. You can take it back.
yeah,
Take it,
right.
man.
Like,
That's what
what
you're ultimately saying, man. We're not telling you to go in and lie, but for anything that you've done that could have been service connected, you're just leaving money and benefits on the table. Absolutely right, man. And that's what people are doing. They're good with it.
Absolutely. And it just blows my mind. And I'm embarrassed to admit to you guys, like, that was my mindset because it is stupid. Like, looking back, I was stupid for even thinking it.
Well, a lot of
And
people are still like that, man. It's crazy to say. It's crazy to say this one, but from what I've seen, it's a lot more of the senior people, man, that are leaving it all on the table. I had a neighbor MP. Hey, man, you got disability, right? Now I'm good, man. I got nothing. You did 20 years in the Army, man. How are you good? You know what I mean? Like, how many deployments you go on? How many times you hurt your knees, your ankles, how many times you went to the range and shot with the 3M earplugs they got the lawsuit in for or whatever? He's like, come on, man. Like, you guys not using your head, dude. Like,
absolutely, man. And
hey,
especially that GI Bill, man. That GI Bill, dude.
Yeah, no, yeah. I want to look at my phone real quick, but go ahead because I have a picture that I took on. Someone was talking about the GI Bill. It's great that you brought that up. They're talking about oh, here we go right here. There are 225,000 active duty students using tuition assistance benefits. There's got to be way more, hundreds of thousands of people in the military, so that's not really that much of a report. And then it said, by the way, same report said that there's 484,406 students received post 9/11 GI Bill financial benefits in 2020-2021 academic year. There's millions of veterans.
Millions.
Now all millions don't qualify for the post 9/11 GI Bill, but I'm sure there are still millions that qualify, and there weren't even 500,000 that use it in 2020, 21. That's coming from
insane.
this is coming from the I'm trying to look at the report. I don't know. It's coming from something that's a valid, source of information, not like some kind of made up stat, but I believe it, man. They probably don't want people to leave it on the table, but it doesn't hurt them. They're not reaching out saying, please use your benefits, please. Like I had to come to reality, man, because I was working jobs like in restaurants and getting paid nothing. Man, I started going to school and got $2,200 a month plus the Pell Grant, which is $800 a month. That's $3,000 a month tax free. Tax free, man. That's tax free. And like you're getting that for like, if you use Voc Rehab, which they call Veterans Readiness and Employment, you use that, go to school first. Like I got my bachelor's degree in business. That was 4 years. Then now I can use my GI Bill because before you used to not be able to do that, but they passed a new law a couple of years ago. If you use Voc Rehab, you can use your GI Bill after. Then it's like 7 years of. If you're in New York, you're getting $3,900 a month, man. You know what I mean? So it's like depending on where you are, you can get a full-time salary just by going to school, and you don't have to kill yourself at a job you hate or somewhere you don't want to work. Because I had plenty of them, man. Like I'm not even trying to pick on or nag on anybody else. I'm living proof, dude. I've done all the jobs, dead end jobs, low paying jobs, unappreciative jobs, and it's just like, man, I got to start using what's out there and available for benefits, man, because these benefits are a whole lot better than getting underpaid and undervalued. So, yeah, good point, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's not hard. Like,
no,
like literally, all you got to do if you're a vet and you have access to the post 9/11 GI Bill, like all you have to do is just type in Google what 4-year universities, or if you want to go, actually, I would recommend going the community college route first. Get your 2 years from a community college. Only reason is they are a lot cheaper than a 4-year school, and there is a cash limit on the post 9/11 GI Bill on how much you can spend. So, if you go to Harvard and try to use your post 9/11, like you're going to run out of money like a year and
They
a half
got
in.
they got the yellow ribbon program though for some of those schools that will end up matching
Yep,
the difference.
yep.
So, but you're right. You don't want to go somewhere and just blow through it or just. But
Yeah.
hey,
So
any way you do, any way you go, like if you go community college, you're good. Just use your benefits, really.
yeah, absolutely. And by the time, if you do run out of money before you complete your degree, you're only going to have at most a couple of courses left. So I
Right.
mean, yeah, you might have to come out of pocket, but hey, you got some time to save up for it. So
Yeah.
it'll be okay. But I mean, all you got to do is go on Google. Google what colleges use or will accept the post 9/11 GI Bill. And to my
That's it.
knowledge, it's pretty much all of them. And any of the ones you want to go to anyway. And you just get a hold of their academic advisors. Like, hey, I'm a vet. I'm using a post 9/11 GI Bill. Who do I talk to? And they're going to hook you up with somebody, and they are going to hold your hand. Literally, at least in my experience, they're
Oh
going to
no,
hold your hand through the process
You know why they're doing that though, right? For the most part.
because it's a pain in the butt. I guess I
Nah,
don't know
well,
why.
no, that's no. I would say because they know that you're a veteran, that money's coming for sure.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
no,
good
and
point.
no,
Yeah,
when they get you they know they're man. Schools are a business too now. Let's not forget. We're not, you know what I
yeah,
mean. So but hey, it works both ways, and that's good if they take care of you. A lot of schools have veteran like whatever committee or council or whatever,
mm-hmm.
veteran service officer or whatever that work at the school. So. But yeah, man, I'm glad you had a good experience. So is that something that did you end up using that when you got out? Like what were some tools that you used when you transitioned out?
Yeah, definitely. That is what I used 100%. And I had my associate's degree when I got out, so um, finished my bachelor's, working on my master's in business right
Okay.
now, and yeah, still using my GI Bill today. And
Not bad.
I'm gonna run out soon, but that's fine. And yeah, what else? What other benefits? Obviously, the medical stuff. Hey, the psychiatric stuff, like use it. Go talk. I know therapists, shrinks. I get it, but I promise you, in my experience anyway, they helped me work through some serious stuff, and I wish I started working with them from day one when I got
I was
when
gonna
my
ask
feet.
you. I was gonna ask you that how far back would have you have gone to go see someone for mental health? How far back in your career?
Uh, the second it became an option, because again, it's just like we were talking about with you know doing documenting your injuries and your health. Mental health is the same way, not for documentation, just the amount of work, right? Because I had so much build up crap that I had to unpack that it was ridiculous. So yeah, start it as soon as you can. And anyone that tells you that taking care of your mental health is weakness, um, they're an idiot and should probably be tarred and feathered
Yeah.
because like they're stupid.
For real.
But not especially especially for us, man, because 22 a day, right? Like
Seriously.
I know that number has gone down like 1.9% or 1.9, but I had a dude who was actually, because I wear a 22 a day bracelet, and I'm a big supporter of the Till Valhalla project,
Okay.
and I've had quite a few friends commit suicide, and you know it's insane, especially the people from my circle that committed suicide. Man, these are the toughest dudes.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it blows my mind that they were so. I don't know. I don't want to say feeble because they weren't, but somehow something got in their mind and just broke them. And I would give anything just to go back and be like, it's not weakness to seek help. Like to go get that mental health help. Like that is not a weakness. Do it. And the sooner you do it, the better, because the easier it's going to be to get to a healthy place, and the easier it's going to be to maintain that healthy place once you get there. and even if you didn't deploy into combat, but especially if you did deploy, like you definitely need that mental health help. Like I don't care if you never got shot at a day in your life, like just being downrange in a dangerous environment, like that's going to bring a whole bunch of junk that I didn't even realize was in my head, and until we really started digging into it. So yeah, early on, as soon as you can, start. If you want to wait till you get out, fine. But the second your feet hit the ground, you need to have that mental health work with the VA. It's not perfect. I understand that, but it's free, and well, it's not free. You earned it, but use it. Use that benefit 100%, man.
Yeah, sorry to hear a bunch of friends. I've know quite a few people that took their own life too, and it's just like when you hear about it, man, you're just like, damn, that's not how I remembered them, or just whatever, what you just think or wonder what it was that brought them to that point, man. But we can only imagine at this point. It's just sucks that it has to end like that.
Yeah.
What if you could describe your military service in one word, what would you describe it as?
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What was your favorite place that you went to? Like on orders, not really on a vacation, but you have anywhere that you went that was pretty cool that you liked?
Yeah, Poland. I lived in Poland for a year.
Okay.
That place, dude. I wanted to actually, and still to this day, I wouldn't mind living in Poland.
What part were you in?
I was all over. I traveled, but my favorite city was this place called Droskow Primorsky.
Okay.
That was a pretty cool place. And then obviously Warsaw is pretty awesome. But I really enjoyed Poland.
How long ago were you there?
In
Recently?
Poland?
Yeah.
2010, I think.
Oh, so a while ago.
Yeah.
That's cool though. That Europe was cool, man. You like Germany too?
Germany was okay. Like everybody.
Where were you at?
Grafenwehr.
Oh, I was in Vilsek, man. We were on the crappy side.
Yeah. I lived in Vilsek. Worked in Grafenwehr.
Did you take the tank trail to work, or you drove the other way?
Tank trail.
Except
when it was closed, man.
Like, yeah, it used to be closed a lot, though.
Yeah, it made me so mad when they would close it. So freaking mad. But because driving around, man, that took like an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Like 20 minutes compared to an hour. Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, man. Like, dude, I mean, you just got to get out there and explore, because we weren't in Frankfurt. We weren't in, like over there on the Air Force Base in Ramstein. They had Cinnabon, they had Johnny Rockets, everything.
Dope,
they call it Little America, dude. It's Cinnabon, Johnny Rockets, hotel, everything,
that place
dude.
Was awesome. I love that place.
Everything, man.
Did you go to, while you're in Germany, did you go to Erfurt?
Germany? No, what's that?
Dude, that was one of the coolest places I ever visited in Europe. It's where Napoleon planned his invasion east.
Okay, no, I never went. Where was it at?
It's in Germany. Erfurt, Germany.
Erfurt.
Yeah, it's like Erfurt or something like that.
Is it Bavaria?
Yeah, it's Bavaria.
Okay. Did you go to the Eagle's Nest down there, like the Hitler's hideout or whatever he had?
I did not do that.
Me neither.
I went to what was that resort called?
Edelweiss, yeah.
I went to Edelweiss, did the was it Stugspitz, the tallest peak in Germany.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool. Did that, hung out in Frankfurt, Munich. Where else did I go in Germany? Oh, I went to what was Baumgarten, where that monastery is.
I went there. I went to Oktoberfest. Man, we got called back. That we were down there the next day. They had a whole recall formation for the whole squadron. This one dude acted crazy to Sergeant Major and set the sprinkler alarms off, and they recalled the whole squadron back, man.
So you were two
CR, yeah.
What troop were you in?
I was in Fox troop when I deployed. That was second squadron. And then when I first got there, we were all in RSS because we were all food service. But then like when they had the deployment, we all got like before deployment, we got dispersed out and like went into the line troop and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I was supposed to go to, I wanted to play on the post softball team, but shout out to all the leadership that never let any cooks do anything in Vilsec for not letting me go out and fulfill my dreams of becoming a Army softball player. And they said, nah, man, you got to come to work at the DFAC this weekend. It's a 4-day. Nah, you got to work the first 2 days. I said, can I go they invited me to go to Edelweiss to play on the Graf post softball team. Did I go? Nah, man, you got to be in the DFAC. Shout out to y'all, man. You know, we leave them unnamed. Who cares, man? I got so many stories. I'm probably gonna wait to write a book, man, and have these stories. I gotta get some money for the stories I went through in Germany, man. I'll just leave it at that, dude. I got some crazy ones, man, but that's one right there. How long was I in?
Yeah,
I was in for 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah.
I cooked the whole time?
Yeah, cooked the whole time. Did different stuff though on deployments.
That's a horrible job, dude. That is
horrible.
A horrible job.
Hey, man, horrible job. I thought I had it all figured out, man. I was watching, Food Network and stuff like that growing up and everything. So I'm like, oh, I like cooking. I like sports. You know what? I'm gonna join the Army. Yeah, I'm gonna join a cook. I don't care what my ASVAB score is. I'm just gonna be a cook. We're gonna get on the culinary arts team. As soon as I got to Fort Campbell, like, you ready to get to Iraq? I'm like, I guess. I mean, I didn't see the DFAC for like the first couple of years, man. Like I was doing camp commandant stuff. I was doing working with the battalion maintenance officer, Sergeant Twitty. We were doing things, and then I came back for 1 year. I had got school op, so I got 6 months away from the unit, did that, and then came back. Then we did deployment training. I think I might have went to DFAC for like a month or two. Then we started doing deployment training for Afghanistan. Then we ran to Class 1 yard, which was a good job. Then I re-enlisted, went to Germany, went straight to the DFAC. Like I said, they didn't let me do anything there. They were horrible. And then I went to the line unit and deployed as their cook, and they treated me good. Everyone, because we were giving them food and taking care. I was trying to take care of everybody the best as I could.
Was that in Afghanistan?
Yeah, I was in Afghanistan. Yeah. We were at like front neck, Janat, pacemaker, like RC South. Like we flew into Kandahar, then took like helicopters or convoyed out to where we went. And then came back and went to Carson, went to the DFAC a little bit, but I only had 11 months left, and I had a broken foot from Afghanistan. So I was trying to rehab that. And then all Carson cared about was going to the field. And then it was time to get out, man. It just all happened like that, like a damn flashbang went off, and you're
quick. And
luckily I had 70 days of terminal leave, and I had a job lined up to go work in Alaska, but after I got my girlfriend pregnant, all that was like another grenade went off. So all that stuff, plan A might not always be the best plan. I didn't have no disability claim in the works, all that stuff in my record, man. I had stuff to, get me something going, dude, but I had nothing. So I can't blame anyone but myself. I'm not here to throw shame on nobody, but like you said earlier, take care of yourself, man. Right? Yeah, in all aspects, you have to.
Because no one else is going to do it.
Nobody, dude. And I mean, you probably found it like, you were taking care of soldiers your whole time in the military as a leader. When you get out, who was there for, like, you had that first sergeant mentor, but that's when you were E5. So who was looking out for you when you got out?
Nobody.
When it was your time? Nobody. They said, go. You're like, they probably gave you, hey, you're at E7. Hey, you're good. Let me give you a signature. You'll figure it out. Like, go ahead, man.
I got taps. That's what I got.
Dude, I got charged with escorting 2 soldiers when I was getting ready to clear base. They made me take 2 other soldiers instead of having someone that was staying in the Army do it. Make me go take them around to all their stuff, so they're going to be good. Little do we know, all 3 of us don't know what we're going to do. I know I'm getting a job, but I'm like, what y'all going to do when you get out? I ask them, well, I don't know, probably go home and do this. Like, dude, people don't have plans, man. You gotta, even if you're going to use your GI Bill, you better have that certificate of eligibility, all that stuff ironed out, because even if you start school the day after you get out, you're still not getting paid for 30 days. You're not getting paid to the next month. So don't rely on that money, so.
Yeah, 100%, man. And it's crazy because, like, we all have horror stories of the Army. Like, as much as I say, my time in the Army was awesome, and I have zero regret about the Army. I loved the Army. I miss the Army. Yeah. But let's be honest, like, it's like everything else in life. Like, it's good and it's bad. And when it's bad, it can be really freaking bad. Like your story of like having to, like, the Army not giving a shit, just Go do.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't care if you only got 2 days left. You're going to be at PT and take this PT test.
Yeah.
Like you're like, what? But I mean, it's crazy. And by the way, I always heard 2CR was the absolute worst. The absolute worst.
Coming from 101st and like, you know, not everyone got along for the greater good, had little minute problems, then going to something like I experienced and that. Granted, the line units were cool. I never had no problem. But when that first experience, and even when I got back from Afghanistan, man, I experienced trash. But yeah, man, it's all about the people, dude. It's not really, it doesn't matter about the, you know, the units and everything like that, but it's just about the people that are there, man. So
yeah, 100%. I think it's because when people go to Europe, like they're going for vacation.
Yeah.
Right. They're going because they want to travel to Europe, which there's nothing wrong with that. I did too.
Right.
But I mean, it's, you know, it's yeah, I think that's why, because the mentality is different. So, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, but you're absolutely right. Like, just have a plan, like I said, because no one's going to take care of you.
You got to, man. What are you up to nowadays? What you got going on?
Well, man, corporate world, let's be honest, it wasn't for me. I'm tired of taking orders. So I did it from my entire adult life. So now I want to be the one, I want to do my own thing. So I quit the whole corporate scene and started my own leadership development company. I help build up corporate leaders, as long as I do, you know, career coaching / counseling, and especially career transition. And I'm just getting ready to launch a military transition assistance program. Obviously, right now you'd have to pay me for it. But I'm working on getting a VA contract or a DoD contract to allow me to do that on their dime.
Nice.
So, but that's in the works, but it's not anywhere close to being resolved yet. But yeah, so I'm getting ready to launch that program. Basically, and it's funny that you reached out to me because just recently did I have that decision to, like, you know, I struggled so much getting out of the military. Like, if I could just catch people like 6 months out, and be like, hey, look, this is what's going to happen, because TAPS doesn't do crap for you. TAPS, it's like a fire hose to your face. It does nothing. All I remember from TAPS is LinkedIn. And by the time I got done with TAPS, I hated LinkedIn so much, I deleted it.
Yeah. You got blown out. You got LinkedIn blown out, man. Like, hold on, man.
I'm done. And so, you know, and that's literally all I remember from TAPS. It serviced me in no way, shape, or form that I remember.
And you also got out from Europe, so how do they even know what's going on in the U.S. job market? Like, they're not in tune. People, they might be plugged in, but yeah, you know, I've heard different things. People say you get what you put in, but sometimes if they're not putting anything down, what can you pick up? Yeah, you got to ask questions. You got to do that. So I guess that's the beauty of talking to all these different vets that get out from all over the world, but you're absolutely right on trying to catch people before they get out. When I contracted overseas, I used to always talk to the vets and stuff, or like the military people, Air Force, Army, whatever, like just ask them, you know, what's your plan, you know, and I'd like ask their leadership. Like, you think I could talk to like people that were planning on getting out? Like, but that's like, I don't think that's really pressed in the military. I never once had anyone come in on sergeant's time training or to a first formation or, you know what I'm saying? Any formation, and just pitch the idea of, you know, be ahead when you get out the military. But that's interesting that you're working with the VA on that. And I hope all that pans out for you, because that'd be interesting if they were to fund that, because I don't think that they're really doing, I guess from my experience, I don't think it was the best experience. I don't think I put forth the best effort either, but let's say like that. But even if the VA didn't let you do it, it'd be kind of cool to make a movement and like get around the military towns, but you had such a following that you could fill up like arenas and have like keynote speakers that are veterans that come out. I've been thinking about something like that too, like sort of get like a little team together and you just like pitch the idea of getting out the military, and be like, not the bad, because I feel like the military is great. Me too. I don't regret joining the military, or, you know, it was a great stepping stone and great opportunity. You meet some of the best friends of your life, travel the world, get paid, and still here to see it, man. But good for you, man. I hope you get that. That's quite interesting that you were. How'd you get involved with the VA on that? You just hit them up.
So I can hit you up, once we get off of here and kind of explain the process. I just started it a couple months ago.
Okay.
But it's a pretty arduous process. Like all things, first I have to prove that I'm a veteran-owned business,
right,
which is stupid because I got my DD 214 and I got my business license. So what other proof do I need? But no, you got to go through the red tape and all that crap.
Right.
But yeah. So I'm in the process. But basically, how I got into it was I got an email one day from the VA like, hey, if you're a small business, the VA has options for you. Check us out. We're doing a seminar. So I just I have time. So I went to the seminar. It was on Zoom, or not Zoom. It was on some sort of video conferencing platform. And I went to it and was like, this is a good idea. I could do this. So that's when I started developing my program and came up with a plan. So, and then they have facilitators literally that just kind of handhold you and walk you through the process.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear that, man, because I'm sure but the VA has a certain amount of their budget that's supposed to be for veteran-owned businesses. So it's and that's never been. I was just talking to Elise, and she's doing coaching too, and she was saying the same thing that you're talking about. Sort of it's not even tapped in the full potential of what veterans can get. That's there for them in the entrepreneurship realm.
Clue. I had no clue.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So good for you, man. What if you could tell anybody anything, like going back in time, or tell your old self something in the military before you get out, minus the things you said about the mental health and getting stuff documented, what else would you tell someone to set them up for success?
Watch out for bullets. They hurt.
I guess you can laugh at it now, man, but damn, that was probably falling out in Iraq, waking up in Walter Reed. Like, damn, that's a wild one, dude.
Nah, man. Seriously though, just be prepared in all things. And it's crazy because the military taught me to always plan for the worst, hope for the best, right?
Yeah.
And always have a plan, always have a backup plan. And then for some reason, the second my feet hit civilian dirt, I lost all of that. And I had to get it back. I don't know if your experience was the same, but I had to rebuild that in myself to where now I'm back to where I used to be, where Sergeant Morris planned for literally everything. And then I had a contingency and a tertiary. I had it all. And so now I'm to that point again, but don't let yourself get there. Just be aware that it's going to try to happen, that you're going to get lazy, that you're not going to PT every day. I know that's what you're telling yourself. You're not going to. I can count on one hand the number of vets that I know that went from the military to civilian life and still PT'd every day. Literally on one hand.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of vets. So, I mean, just have a plan, guys. And I don't care how great of a plan you have, how bulletproof it is. I promise you, civilian life is going to hit you much harder than those plates in your bulletproof plan can carry or handle. Yeah. It's going to knock you down, man. So just be ready for it. Have a plan, have a backup.
All right, for sure. You got anyone that you could call out for this, like a call to action to share their story on here that we could let it be known?
Oh, man. Yeah. I got to think about it. Let me think.
No problem.
I'm trying to think of someone that would be good for you. Because, the first person that came to my mind was Jason Nunn. But he is way too redneck for a microphone. You won't be able to understand the word that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, can we get a translator for him, you think?
I could probably do it. But man, listen to him on the radio. What was that cartoon with that dude that talked really fast? King of the Hill. Boom
Oh
howl.
yeah.
That is exactly what this kid sounds like, man. Especially on the radio. We'd be getting shot at and you'd hear him just dadgum, by God. And you're just like, what the hell? Where's Jason? Let's go.
Huh. Damn. Jason, we need you on, man. We need
But
you
yeah,
on, bro.
man. Yeah, he's a good dude, though. He was one of my best friends. And he lives in Jacksonville, Florida, man. And
Okay.
I didn't know Florida had rednecks
Oh
until I
yeah,
met
he's up
him.
north, man. That's like a whole. That's why I tell people like the panhandle of Florida and like North Florida, like Jacksonville. That's like Alabama or like Georgia or South Carolina, man.
Yeah.
Whereas South Florida is a whole different animal, dude. So
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Whew. But yeah, man, I
What was your
appreciate your time.
Oh yeah,
Huh?
no problem. I was gonna say, what's your favorite food you had in the army, man? Well, give me your favorite. Were you 11 Bravo?
Yeah.
What was your favorite MRE, man? I know you got to have one of those, and give me your
Chili
favorite.
Mac.
Chili Mac MRE. There,
Mhm.
my boy Santi's favorite too. He said,
Hands down. You know why?
brush the crackers up, put a little hot sauce in there. He's like, damn, man, I don't why.
So the MRE was edible. Like the Chili Mac's not good.
Yeah,
Like it's edible. It's not good. But it always came with Skittles or M&Ms.
there you go. That's why I was telling people, man. As a cook, we had first dibs, so you got to do what you got to do. But I used to hate all those MREs, man. They're just straight. All the hot food, straight disgusting. You'd have to eat everything else, like all the snacks, the pound cakes. You'd have to like. That's disgusting. How it went down. What about best DFAC food? What'd you have? What was your best DFAC meal?
Man, I very rarely ate it to DFAC, so I can't even remember.
What about probably nothing that stood out then, right? Army cooks death from within. That stands. so it stands. That's the.
No, I mean, I was, man, from 19 years old till I got out, I was married, and then so.
So you are base enjoying the real food, man. Enjoying.
Yeah. So I mean, I never really, man. Trying to think. I mean, DFAC breakfast was always on point.
Damn, everyone loves that. Can't mess that up. It's the same thing every day, right?
I mean,
cream beef, bacon, sausage, scrambled eggs, omelet bar, French toast or pancakes. Come on, man.
I can tell you what I absolutely hate, though, and I wouldn't eat it if we had it. Mermites. Not mermites.
Yeah,
they were like giant MREs. T rations?
Yeah, okay, like the UGRB, like T-rats. That was like before my time, though. I think those and like the UGRBs and like these other meal sets they had were like even worse than some of the other stuff. Yeah,
bro, it was like an MRE on steroids, and just tasted horrible, bro. I just wouldn't eat if that's what we had to eat. I just I'll go find some crackers or something. And then I'll just let Red Bull, Monster, and Rage fuel me until we get better food, because that crap is gross.
Rippets.
Rippets.
What about when everyone's drinking the small can of Rippets when like overseas, then you come back and you go to 7-Eleven and you see like a Rippet can like this big right here, right? It's like a big ass, like a triple stack Rippet, man. People on this.
Bro, so tell me if this ever happened to you while you were deployed. So we would because very seldom did we in my entire career, very seldom did I ever actually live on a super fob. Yeah. So when we got to go to a super fob where they had the coolers of Rippets, man, we would assault those things.
I used to run the Class 1 yard in Afghanistan. My first deployment, dude. I had access to all that. That was like. Hey, man, they called me Mr. Leatherneck, man, for no, you know what I'm saying? That's my name. I had the keys to the city, man. That's like, you need Spunkmeyer muffins, you need Gatorade shakes, Rippets, what you need, man.
Those Gatorade shakes, though.
Yeah, I was cool with it, man, awesome. Because, like, we're all over there sucking ass. You might as well get some snacks, dude. Remember in Iraq, they used to have the cinnamon buns, the honey buns? They had honey buns, bro. The famous, like, they did all right for snacks, man. But yeah, dude, those Rippets and stuff like that, though, that's like you trade case of Rippets for that could go a long ways. That's cash, dude. That's that was the old school Bitcoin, dude. Rippets. Come on, man. We had cryptocurrency, man. Come on.
We would have, when we would go into those DFACs, man, we'd always have two designated screeners. basically what we would do because they always had
They always say take one per.
Take one.
One per.
And they would have people at the door freaking watching you, making sure that you only took one. And so we'd always have someone to run screen for us. They go in, grab a couple, take off, and then the guard would go off after him. And then we'd load up cargo pockets, back pockets,
cargo. I was gonna say you had to have all those cargo.
We would load up every single pocket on our uniform. If we had our kits on, we would take out
the ammo cans up, load the ammo pouches up, all your magazine pouches up with rip hits, dude.
We would straight up run a covert operation on the Rip It cooler.
Well, all right, that's a new question to ask. What was your favorite flavor of Rip It, dude? Which one? I didn't really like it that much, but I had the purple. I like the black and red one, the Power.
The Power. Yeah, I would say Power is probably my favorite. Purple would be my second. I hated the citrus.
Yeah, that was disgusting for sure.
I hated it. But the others were good.
Dude, that's funny, man. Reminisce on those times. See, that's funny. That's funny too, because you could talk to like any veteran as long as they're at around the same deployment time in the same fob. You could talk about silly shit like we just did, like snacks. You probably got sick of Pop-Tarts after a while of being in the Army,
Yeah.
But
especially the ones without frosting. Why did the Army
the whole grain? They try to go to they try to go to healthier, but it just got more disgusting. You know how they go,
horrible.
Man.
It was horrible. I hated those things.
Nah, man, but hey, it's been great talking to you and appreciate everything that you've done. I'm glad that everything's transitioned in a good manner for you, man, and glad you're still here today. And look forward to keep our relationship open and keep it up, man.
Yeah, man. You mind if I give a shout out to my link to my website?
Nah, bro, I'm cutting you off, dude. I'm cutting you off. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. If y'all want to get in contact with me, want to inquire about my services or maybe me speaking at an event of yours, you can just head over to www.renownedleadership.com. And I'm sorry I put the www in there. I'm old. That's so stupid. I always yell at people on my podcast for doing that. Like, dude, everybody knows it's www. Like, stop.
I guess so, but you just used to doing that, man. It's programming.
I just
man.
did
it. The AOL days, dude. Internet days, man. Let's go, man.
But yeah, just head over to renownedleadership.com and you can find out all my stuff. And I also got my own podcast, Renowned Leadership. You can find it on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, all of them. So check me out, man. And I appreciate the time, man. And more importantly, I appreciate your service, brother.
No problem, man. Appreciate you. And thanks for everybody for listening. Hope you guys got a laugh. Hope you guys got some good information. Appreciate your time and see y'all next time. Have a good one.